Hello guys and welcome back to our channel. We're back in the garage today and what we are going to work on today is installing the Denali SoundBomb Mini on the R1300GS Trophy. So if that's something you are after, you want to know more, you want to work out how to do it, stay tuned, grab a cup of coffee and let's go through this whole installation process. Okay, so why am I changing the horn on my motorcycle, right? I've not done this on my R1250GS Adventure, and I was meaning to do it, and at what I really wanted to get on the R1250GS Adventure was the SoundBomb Compact, and I wanted to connect it to the CAN bus, the Hex Easy CAN, and then I wanted to run it that way, but I never got to it, right? Now with the R1300GS, the SoundBomb Compact, I find it quite fiddly because the mounting point isn't quite right, and it leaves the SoundBomb a bit exposed. At least that's in my opinion from what I've seen. So the other option I've got is to actually look at the SoundBomb Mini, and I actually found it, one of my mates have actually got it on their motorcycle, and I found that it's actually quite effective. Definitely going to make a huge difference from the stock horn that is on the R1300GS. I think BMW could have done a bit better with the horns on such a premium bike. It is unfortunate that they've sort of cheaped out a little bit on the horns, but nevertheless we've got a fix for it. So the SoundBomb Mini here is, I'm not sponsored, I bought this with my own money. It cost me about $75. I bought it from EasyR, one of the online retailers here in Australia, and essentially it's a plug and play system. So it's a fairly, just fits at the size of your palm, and then in the box you get a instruction manual kind of, and you get this bracket and a nut. Essentially that's all that you get in there. But in order to make it work as a plug and play for your BMW GS motorcycle, you will need to get one of these harnesses for BMW. Now, it is really unfortunate how expensive these harnesses are. They are about $45, so nearly 70% of the price of the actual horn itself. I did work out though, if you want a cheaper option, I did work out that on AliExpress you can actually get it for $3. I don't know what the quality is going to be like, but it looks the same. So anyway, this one is from Denali, and it's just a very simple harness. It doesn't look all that great quality, to be honest. I'm pretty sure it'll be very similar to the ones on AliExpress. Anyway, with this, what that does is it makes it plug and play. So essentially all that you need to do is, you've got these two poles here, and all you do is you plug it in. You got to work out which is positive and which is negative. I have to look at the manual, but anyway, the idea is you plug this in like so, and then this goes into the actual connector on that comes with the bike. So it's really quite that simple, and then you mount it on the existing points. So with that said, I'm just going to record the sound of the OEM horn, and then we'll do a before and after. So let's do that. I've got my mini recorder here as well. We'll turn that on. So here you go, the sound of the OEM horn. Doesn't sound very good, does it? Very, yeah, sharp, not loud enough in my opinion. Okay, so with that done, let's go and work on the installation. So here we have the location of the actual OEM horn. I've actually loosened the nut here, so it's a size 13 nut that you just removed, and then here you can see the harness. So all you need to do is you need to remove the harness. It'll be a clip somewhere there. So I'm going to remove that harness and then undo this nut, and that horn should just come off easily. So let's. Okay, so I've removed the original horn. So that's the original horn there. Now you can see in terms of size, they're not very dissimilar. Obviously this is a bit more slightly bigger, but in terms of the weight, they weigh about the same. But essentially you can see now this is where the BMW harness plugs into the horn, and now that's replaced with this one here on the Denali. And you can see that the screws here are also the same. So you can see that how it's pretty much the same sort of pattern. But because this is slightly larger, I have a feeling we'll have to use the bracket. So in the packet, there isn't enough bolts and nuts in there. So you might have to source an extra bolt and nut, and I'll show you what I'm going to do, and we can go through the process together. Okay, it's a bit hard, difficult to actually record and try to install this thing in a very fiddly position all by myself. Don't have my son here to give me a hand today. So anyway, long story short, these cables, it doesn't matter which way it goes around. It's not going to blow any fuses. It's going to be fine. So that's fine. I've had to use the bracket that was supplied in the kit. So I'm going to mount it this way, so on an angle to your right. And then just remember, when you mount it into the bike, the horn has to face downwards, so the air blows downway. That's what Denali recommends. And now I'm going to show you how it's actually done in there. It's going to be quite tight. Hopefully I can get you a good enough angle. Okay, so it is a bit of a fiddly spot here, but alright, hopefully this is good. So this one here, this is the original mounting point for the OEM horn. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the new horn, and you're going to sort of mount it here like so, and leave it on an angle so the horn comes out on an angle. It'll be a bit more clearer once I show you what I've done. Okay, so I have installed the horn. It was not difficult, but it was just very fiddly. So I'm just going to turn the camera around and show you what I've done so that you just understand the process here. So you can see that the horn is sitting just there and it's facing downwards like so. So you can see from here it's facing downwards. Now you just got to make sure that when you install this, the bracket that I've run the bracket towards the side like so, and then I put a bolt and nut there, and then use the nut in the package for mounting the horn, and then I cable tied the harness on the actual bracket that was supplied by Denali, right? So you can see it's been cable tied there, and then you just got to make sure that this steering wheel dampener doesn't actually come in contact with the screw or the bolt or the nut at the back here. So I've done enough clearance here. I've moved the handlebar to the left and to the right just to make sure it doesn't. And if it does, you just need to bend this bracket a little bit, and then that should give you enough clearance. But you shouldn't have any problem unless you use a screw that is really long. So this screw that I've used is just about 1.5 centimeters long. So that seems to do the job pretty well. Now the other thing, if you've got one of these upper crash bars, you want to make sure that the horn doesn't actually hit that crash bar. So for mine it did. So what I've done is I've actually just bent this bracket, just pushed it slightly to the back, and that's giving it enough clearance. So when I move the steering wheel, it's not going to actually hit the bar there. All right, so that's just, you can see it's going to give you plenty of clearance there, like so. All right, so there you go. Easy install. And now for the sound test. And there we go, it is all done. Hopefully the installation process was quite clear and concise, and it helps you with when you want to install the horn yourself. It's hard to actually film and do all this installation by yourself. It'd be nice. My son isn't here today to give me a hand. Anyway, it's all good. It's done. It was a fairly simple, probably one of the most easiest installation I've done so far. It literally takes you 10 minutes, a plug and play system, just a bit of fiddling around with the bracket position and mounting the horn, but otherwise it is not a very difficult thing to do at all. So it's all mounted there, ready to go. And now for the sound test, I'm just going to get my recorder on here. We'll turn on the engine, turn on the bike, and then 1, 2, 3. Horn. 3. Definitely louder. So it's probably not as loud. Well, it's probably on par. Let me rephrase. It's probably on par with the original horn in terms of the loudness, but what you get is you get a richer tone, a very car-like tone to the horn, which I think will actually get more attention. I actually like how it sounds, and I think this is going to be awesome for the bike to get your attention when you most need it. So for the price, $70, $75 for 75 Aussie dollars for the horn, plus whatever you pay for the harness. I paid about $40. As I said, you can get a cheaper one from AliExpress, $3, $4. It might take you a month to get to you. Anyway, the choice is yours. For about $100 Aussie dollars, it's all done. I think it's money well spent, and it'll also give you the attention that you need. So no errors whatsoever on the bike. Installation was easy, and I hope you like the video. So this is my second video on working on bits and pieces on the R1300GS Trophy. Last week I also did a bit of PPF coating on the high impact parts of the motorcycle. I didn't want to do everything, only the high impact parts, you know, this part especially where your tires are going to rub against the plastics and so on, just to protect the paint a little bit. And yeah, so really happy with the bike so far. Got the first service done yesterday, so on the 10th of November, and the bike is all good, so happy with that. And looking forward to more bits and pieces that I've got planned. A few more items coming from Lone Rider as well, so stay tuned for that. And again, if you've liked the video, please give me a big thumbs up. Do like, do share, do subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye bye.